Caras amigas e caros amigos, caras e caros camaradas, a história do Partido Socialista é uma história construída por muitas portuguesas e muitos portugueses. É uma história ao serviço de Portugal. 50 anos. Parabéns, PS! Mas é também uma história partilhada com camaradas de outros países que partilham dos nossos ideais. Uma história comum na defesa dos nossos valores em cada um dos nossos países. Na Europa e no mundo, como sucede com os nossos camaradas espanhóis do PSOE. É, pois, uma enorme honra poder anunciar o próximo orador que esta questão de marcar presença na nossa festa de hoje, apesar da sua apertada agenda. É um gosto tê-lo connosco, aqui no Porto, o secretário-geral do Partido Socialista Obrero Espanhol, primeiro-ministro de Espanha e presidente da Internacional Socialista, o camarada Pedro Sánchez.
Thank you. Gracias. Obrigado. Obrigado. Dear comrades and friends, well, it is an honor for me to share this special day with all of you. As President of the Socialist International and Secretary General of the PSOE, but above all, as a friend, Caro Antonio, I could not miss this meeting. Caros amigos, caro Antonio, trago-vos o abrazo de todos os militantes socialistas de España. Un abrazo fraterno daqueles que tantas batallas lutarán convosco pela liberdade, pela democracia, pela Europa e pelo progreso social que nos uniu e sempre nos unirá. Today we pay tribute to those who paved the way in the past. But I would also like to look forward to vindicate a project full of future like the one of the Portuguese Socialist Party. You're not only the reference of social democracy here in Portugal, you're a reference in the whole European continent. You have been a symbol in very difficult times for our political family. In the middle of the neoliberal decade in Europe, you were a bulwark of all European socialism. And when many were talking about the decline of social democracy, it was you, the Portuguese socialist, who raised our flag through your policies of social justice and solidarity. So thank you. Obrigado, caro Antonio, for that inspiring leadership in times of difficulty when it was most needed. Dear friends, as every April 25th, many radio stations in Spain will play that song again. The church then prohibited by Grándola Vila Morena, which were to mark the beginning of a peaceful revolution. A revolution where rifles were filled with red carnations. In a year, the 25th of April Revolution will celebrate half a century. In my country, Spain, the Socialist Party, and I would say socialists from every corner in the world, still celebrates this day as something of our own. And we look at Portugal with admiration for that extraordinary day of courage. We felt in Spain it was a prelude to something bigger and more beautiful. It was there in the streets of Lisbon where the free Spain, so many times defeated and subjected, finally realized that victory was possible, that we could win, that we were going to win, and you showed us the way. Almost, almost 5 decades have passed since then, and you, the men and women of the Socialist Party, have been instrumental in the extraordinary transformation of Portugal in these years. Now, as time goes by, we're tempted to think that everything was easy, that democracy would replace dictatorship and progress would come easily. But as one leader used to say, progress doesn't travel the straight line, but instead zigzags in fits and starts. At every crossroads, there is a threat to return to the starting point. And that could have happened here in Portugal during those difficult years. On August 1975, the Committee for Friendship and Solidarity with Democracy and Socialism in Portugal was created. Their goal was to support the consolidation of democracy just when it seemed weakest and most unstable. Behind were authentic giants like Willy Brandt, Olof Palme, Kreisky, Harold Wislom, and Mitterrand. At those crossroads, the contribution of the Socialist International was absolutely crucial. And I would like to highlight it when many doubted about the strength of the democratic process in Portugal. The Socialist International never did. They never doubted, they never surrendered. They had faith and confidence for a reason. They knew who was here, the men and women who had created the Socialist Party in 1973. Also giants like Mario Suarez. Mario Suarez, together with Felipe González, they consolidated democracy in this corner of Western Europe, in Portugal and Spain. Together, they took our countries where tyranny would never have been able to enter, into the heart of the European Union. And together, they fought 1,000 battles to banish the prejudice with which Brussels still viewed those young Iberian democracies. Let me tell you that example of that alliance between Spain and Portugal has been a constant source of inspiration for me in these troubled recent years. Years in which we have experienced unthinkable global events, a pandemic that paralyzed our society and froze the world economy, the invasion of a country in Europe that brought war back to the heart of our continent, and also highlighted our dependencies and vulnerabilities, skyrocketing energy prices, levels of inflation not seen in decades, and rising cost of living. Caro Antonio, we also have fought many battles together in Brussels. Battles that we confronted. Battles that Antonio and myself confronted with our three main assets. The first one, the power of the European values. The second, the force of reason. And last but not least, the memory of the pain inflicted to our countries during the financial crisis. With the first asset, the power and confidence in the European values among our societies, we promoted a fair response to the emergency caused by the pandemic first and by the economic consequences of the war later. A response articulated today through the recovery plan. There are those who believe that these funds were a gift from heaven. They ignore the essential, that we had to fight to make them a reality, overcoming resistance and dismantling prejudices. Thanks to this shared commitment, Europe is now a real ally in our crucial transformation for our economies. A transformation that embraces the ecological transition with far-reaching proposals such as the interconnection from green hydrogen, CELSA, H2Med, and the commitment to digitalization and reindustrialization of Europe based on social and territorial cohesion. With the force of reason, we defended the Iberian solution to face the energy crisis, Caro Antonio, an insurance against uncertainty that is a shield against the skyrocketing prices that the electricity market may register. We fought this battle hand to hand again, Caro Antonio, and in the end, we managed to materialize it, not only to lower electricity prices on consumers' bills, but to make it the basis of a genuine European solution. This is also how our two countries, Spain and Portugal and Spain, defended and promoted the joint purchase of vaccines by the European Union, an unprecedented success that allowed us to finally defeat the virus COVID-19. And finally, having lived the previous experience of the financial crisis, we worked with the conviction that this time the price of the crisis won't be paid by the same people as always. Job protection during lockdowns, relaxation of fiscal rules, or demanding an additional effort from those who can contribute more mark a response focused on a concept that was ignored a decade ago: social justice. Today, with full confidence in a fair recovery that leaves no one behind, we can claim the triumph of the social democratic paradigm, a paradigm that even political forces ideologically distant from us now embrace. The task ahead, my dear friends, is to consolidate that victory so as not to repeat the mistakes of the past and not to back down. The voice of social democracy has to be heard loud and united in the global conversation. It is there where the ideological battle will be fought to face challenges such as inequality, climate change, or the crucial fight for women equality. And the Socialist International will speak clearly and boldly. We must defend public health, education, pension as a legacy of dignity to be preserved for the future generations. We, the Socialist International, must be again, as we were 50 years ago, a powerful voice of activism committed until the end with the extension of democratic values. So that is why we reiterate our rejection of Putin's imperialism. We insist on the need to respect the territorial integrity and the freedom of Ukraine, and also we commit to work for a just and lasting peace in Ukraine and in other ongoing conflicts in the world. My dear friends, we must stand up to the elites who defend a system that simply doesn't work, a system that continues to limit social mobility and promotes scandalous levels of inequality. And we must place social democracy at the forefront, especially regarding the fight against the climate change. Spain and Portugal, by geographical location, are highly exposed to the impact of global warming. These weeks, we're facing a worrying drought. In the Doñana National Park, not far from the Portuguese border, we suffered the consequences. A natural treasure, a World Heritage Site, it is being threatened by the arrogance of those who denied the threat of climate change. Social democracy must lead the response to the threat, because if it's not us, no one else will. So the right-wing parties will always look for excuse to do nothing, and the far right will continue to feed the criminal denialism. The future, my dear friends, always proves progress right. But when it comes to the climate emergency, it is not just about being right. It is about acting now. For a reason, time is running out. So, dear friends, Even if 10 years late, some people have finally accepted the huge mistake of the neoliberal dogma of austerity, a mistake that revitalized the reactionary anti-European forces and that widened the inequality gaps all over the world, we suffered together the huge mistake. Now together we paved the way so that on this occasion, no one was left to their fate. And in this achievement, I can tell you, my dear friends, the Portuguese socialists and your Prime Minister Costa have played a fundamental role. So thank you once again, caro Antonio, for having been the beacon that illuminated us in the hardest moments. Dear friends, I invite you to continue leading the way with courage, feminism, and innovative policies. I invite you to continue being a reference for European social democracy. I invite you to forge another 50 years of dignity and struggle for social justice and democracy at the service of Portugal and the socialist internationalism that unite us. So congratulations once again, caro Antonio, caro Primeiro Ministro. Congratulations, comrades and friends, for Portugal, always uma terra de fraternidade. Muito obrigado.
Obrigado, Pedro Sánchez. Forte abraço aos nossos camaradas do PSOE e muitas felicidades nas lutas que têm de travar pela frente durante os próximos tempos. PS! PS! PS!